Welcome back, gamers. In today's video we're going to talk about CS2 and what kind of state it's been in since its release about 7 months ago now. I'll be the first to say that I'm not the only person that's covered this topic, but as someone with over 1,700 hours in the game and a YouTube channel surrounded around content creation based in CS2, I feel like I should talk about some of the issues. So what do I think is actually going to happen after I make this video? Nothing, obviously.
Imagination.
However, I think creating a dialogue surrounding the mass amounts of players that are quitting the game might help see some sort of rectification in the future. Don't get me wrong, I don't think Valve is going to do anything the community actually desires for the game.
Wait, mister. Whatever your name is, you didn't actually want these Zeus skins?
Yeah, we did, like 5 years ago, but when CS2 came out, I think it was pretty unanimous amongst the community that we needed 128-tick servers and a better anti-cheat. And instead, we got these garbage sub-tick servers that feel choppier than ever, and what seems to be no anti-cheat whatsoever. Just be patient, trust me, I'll talk about the cheaters. One reason I delayed in making this video for so long is because I have numerous friends that were around for CSGO's launch, and they will attest to the fact that that launch was scuffed. Cheaters, glitches, dropout. There were people at that time that genuinely thought CSGO was going to be the end of the Counterstrike series, and here we are 10 years later. I'm definitely not trying to defend Valve here, but I am trying to say that I was trying to be patient. Truthfully, most games that drop these days are in a rough state to begin with, let alone the fact that they had to move a massively competitive game over to a new engine. However, 7 months is 7 months, and I think they've had more than enough time to correct a few of their issues. Starting with the servers. I have an issue with the 64 sub-tick servers because I really don't understand who they're catering to. I believe their initial defense of the 64 sub-tick was it would be better for players with bad PCs, but frankly CSGO can run on a potato. Now, I'm not a game designer and I'm not going to pretend to be one, but I feel like there are plenty of things that they could work on to help the resource load for people with bad computers other than tick rate in their servers. But hey, we got what we got, they chose to do what they chose to do, and frankly I was still going to play whether it was 64 sub-tick or 128 tick. At first we didn't have some of our game modes, but they added some of those back in updates, and I believe other than Flying Scoutsman and maybe one other game mode, we have everything that we had from CSGO. But there's something about this game that I just can't really describe well with words. There's this feeling from CSGO that I can't really quantify or put into words well that I feel like we just lost somewhere.
What's the difference? It's the same thing like what?
I think one of the facts that struck me when CS2 was announced was the fact that they were going to change the engine, and I know it's something that ultimately we were going to eventually have to do, but CSGO was a game where changing the amount a weapon was for purchase or changing the damage by 2 damage over range ultimately changed, the meta and changed how we played the game. Changing the engine like that is something that's going to be very drastic for a player base. And I think in a way they're doing it right by giving us little by little everything that we had from CSGO, but on the same note, it's been 7 months and frankly this game is unplayable. And I think some people would argue, hey, it's obvious that the game's going to be different after we change engines like that. However, I think that one of the core things that they've left out is the feeling that CSGO gave its community. Yes, CS2 is toxic, yes, there's throwers, yes, there are issues. However, some part of our game was lost in the transition to CS2, and I don't know what it was. I truly wonder if you guys understand what I'm talking about here, or if you feel the same way. Feel free to use the comments below to vent any of your frustrations with this game. I'd love to read through them. We've talked about the bad servers, we've talked about the feelings lost from CSGO to CS2, we've even made fun of Valve a little bit. But let's talk about the real reason why I can't play this game anymore. You cannot escape the cheaters anymore. They are in every game, they are in every game mode, they're in competitive, they're in premier, they're in casual. They are absolutely unavoidable, and it is the most horrendous gameplay I've ever had to suffer through with the Counter-Strike series. I made a video about a month ago highlighting a blatant spin botter in a Premier Mode match. If you'd like to see us getting destroyed by a spin botter, please click the link below. Now, I'm not going to show a ton of that video, but I'm just going to highlight a few of the clips that I found most hilarious in what is supposed to be Premier matchmaking. And yes, this is a Prime game where I have paid $15 to stay away from cheaters already. And I say already for a very good reason. I'll get into that later too, I promise. But here's what an average Premier game looks like these days.
This is where I see it. I'm like, yeah, they're 5 stars. So before them.
Okay, well, you come around with the spin bike. Oh, shit!
He's full spin body.
Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, everything that's...
He wasn't even looking at him.
Yeah, the crosshair's not even on the people.
Bruh. Yes, I'm laughing in these clips, but this was a month ago, and after a month of playing with nothing but cheaters in lobbies like this one exactly, it gets really tiring. Also, a month later, and after all of us reporting him, he is still not VAC banned at all. I went and checked today. Now, I truly didn't expect him to be banned, but I think that says more about what the anti-cheat is doing than anything else I can say. The fact that I and the rest of the community don't have any faith in this anti-cheat is exactly the problem. Months and months of cheaters being able to play with absolutely no repercussions because they either bought an account that has a 5-year coin or simply have so many alts that it doesn't matter if they get banned. Too often we encounter people that have a total of 12 commendations and 300 hours, but they seem to have a 10-year coin with no other medals at all, and they're obviously wall hacking. Most of the time I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I really don't like to claim cheater too often, but the frequency of people just knowing exact locations has gone up dramatically within the last few months, and more specifically since CS2 has launched.
Oh yeah? Well, what's your solution to get rid of cheaters then?
I don't know, maybe actually implementing some sort of anti-cheat or allowing your community to actually function as a moderator team to get rid of some of these cheaters in games. I don't know. What I do know is the rumors flying around about what they're planning to do is exactly what I was talking about earlier. And from what I understand, their plan is atrocious. As far as I understand, these are still rumors, so take what I say here with a grain of salt. Their plans at the moment are to make a monthly subscription service that we would have to pay for on top of the $15 we've already paid to avoid cheaters, specifically to avoid cheaters. Now, that's ridiculous. A $1 billion a year company just from CS2 alone is now going to force us to pay monthly subscriptions just to enjoy their game away from cheaters. No amount of money is going to be justifiable for us to spend monthly just to stay away from cheaters in this game, and frankly this is going to probably end me playing CS2 as well as many others I expect, let alone the content creators that have already dropped it. Now, as far as my content, I don't know whether or not I'm going to drop CS2 as a whole, but I do think that I'm going to shift to some other games as this game has become quite unplayable and I have a hard time finding enjoyment in it anymore. Who knows, maybe given some time, Valve can find a nice anti-cheat, maybe they'll update their servers, maybe everything will come true that we really want, but I think for now I'm not going to hold my breath and I'm just going to start playing some other games. But let me know down below whether or not you think I'm totally off base here, or if you think that what I have to say is pretty accurate to everybody else's opinion. Now, I don't think Valve is going to see this video and change anything, but I do think that talking about it is the first step in creating any change. But I think that's going to about wrap it up for me. I really appreciate you guys just for watching all the way to the end. It means a ton for me and the YouTube algorithm. Please, if you like the video, consider liking, subscribing, and checking out my other content. Have a great day.